June 9th, 2002, Moscow, Red Square. Thousands of people gathered in the very center of Moscow to watch Russia face Japan in the FIFA World Cup. For many, it was more than just a football match. It was a matter of national pride. A giant screen had been installed near Kremlin, and from early morning, the square filled with fans waving flags, chanting slogans, drinking beer, and celebrating what they hoped would be a Russian victory. But this was also a different era in Russia. The early 2000s were the peak of the country's street subculture scene. Football hooligans, skinheads, nationalist groups, and youth gangs were a common sight. Street fights were routine, and violence had become part of the culture. For many young people, ironically, many of those who called themselves patriots would soon leave parts of their own capital looking like a battlefield. By the time the match began, large sections of the crowd were heavily intoxicated. Alcohol was everywhere. Witnesses later recalled thousands of drunk and emotional fans packed tightly into the square. Then came the moment that changed everything. In the 51st minute, Japanese midfielder Inomoto scored the only goal of the match. Russia lost 0-1. The reaction was immediate. Bottles, cans, and glass objects were hurled through the air. Storefronts were smashed, cars were overturned and set on fire. Journalists, police officers, and random passers-by were attacked. Within minutes, Manezhnaya Square had descended into chaos as rioters rampaged through central Moscow. Most of the troublemakers were teenagers between 13 and 17 years old, mixed with older hooligans and extremists. During violence, a 17-year-old reportedly attempted to attack a man. The man pulled out an axe and fatally struck the teenager before disappearing into the crowd. Despite the scale of the police investigation that followed, he was never identified or caught. The violence soon spread beyond vandalism. People of Asian appearance were attacked after being mistaken for Japanese. Foreign students and innocent pedestrians became targets of the mob's anger. For several hours, police struggled to regain control. Hundreds were injured, dozens of vehicles were damaged or destroyed, and large sections of central Moscow were left devastated. What had begun as a patriotic gathering ended as one of the largest football riots in modern Russian history. It was a day that exposed the darker side of Russia's early 2000s street culture, a time when alcohol, nationalism, hooliganism, and youth violence could turn a sporting defeat into a citywide riot.